Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Don't sound so happy about it.
I'm not. I don't have to be.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 1. The hell's the name of this episode? The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. I'm your host, Clio, and with me I have John and Dom.
Hello.
Hi.
And I didn't know the name of this episode going in, or even, 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
But that's a weird name for it.
Yeah.
It's verbose compared to their other titles, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Most of their other titles are like one or two words.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most, not all, but yeah.
It's like the day will come when you won't be what? Alive?
Where you won't be. You will be nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will be
All
dirt.
right. All right, I'll take it. So we start off where we left off 6 months ago.
Exactly where we
Dragging out who's dead. Because dragging it out for 6 months wasn't long enough. You had to drag it out for another half an hour.
See, I knew this was going to be one of Cleo's gripes with it. I feel like they had to.
Did they?
I do. Because from a ratings point of view, which is something you want to maintain, if you showed it as the very, very first scene, you're going to have people go, okay, and then they're going to shut it off, and that's going to be the end of it. There's people that were tuning in just to watch. You do it halfway through the episode, and you're like, well, I already invested this much time, I may as well just finish it out.
And that is exactly what I have a problem with this entire thing, is that it feels like they're trying to shock us. They're trying to hook us.
They are.
We've been in this for 6 seasons.
No, but so here's the other part with this.
Fans who have been watching it since the fucking beginning.
Right, but you gotta think of this from the point of view also of the comic book fans and people that started and are up to date and past the Walking Dead TV series and the comics. You have to keep them on their toes as well, right? Because if you keep everything the same and you're doing it all, I feel as this was catered to the comic book fans, and this was keeping them in suspense. Like, you're looking at it as, I just need to know, and that's it. Like, you're looking at it for more of the, and I'm not trying to piss you off or make you take offense to it. It's the selfish need of, I have to know who died. Where this is more of the fan service of the story and how it all unfolds. And I think the way it was told was beautiful. Like, I don't imagine it told another way that would have satisfied me.
There is an article.
I'm happy with it, with the story of it. I'm not happy with the death, you know?
You see, what's unfortunate is that they made me so wrapped up in who died. They made me so angry that that's all I cared about, that there was all this subtle stuff that happened with Rick and with Negan that I missed out on because I was so focused on this petty shit, which was me being mad at the show. And there's this article, beautiful article, I'll probably link it in the description later, but by Rob Birkin, and they said if they had killed Abraham, because the whole point of Abraham dying is to hide Glenn's death behind Abraham.
Right.
So if they had killed Abraham at the end of last season, then we would not have seen Glenn's death coming. We would have thought, oh, he killed Abraham, that's it. Glenn's death in this episode, we would not have seen coming.
See, I feel like I didn't expect, I expected it, right? I think I said the one that I wanted to die was the guy, I can't remember his name.
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron. Because that would be a nice cop-out of, okay, we killed somebody, but you're not as invested as him as every single other character sitting there. Just because of the sheer amount of time you spent with those people. And you kill Abraham first, and it's just like, okay, well, Abraham's time was up because, he's outlived his life in the comic already, right? So you kind of expected that. But then I had the subtle things going through my head, like when Greg Nicotero, Rob, who's
Rob
the guy?
Kirkman.
Rob Kirkman was on at midnight, and he did the fake Walking Dead spoilers, and he described Glenn getting hit over the head with a baseball bat, and that was a fake spoiler. So as soon as I saw him, I go, okay, whew, whatever. I'm relieved now. And then he just, after the turn of events, and he just turns and clocks Glenn, my jaw dropped. I was like, I honestly wish I could say I didn't see it coming at that moment, but I didn't. I really didn't.
So, I think another problem. I'm sorry, John, you haven't really spoken that much. Go ahead.
No. So unfortunately, I had the episode spoiled for me because I accidentally went on Facebook while we were out yesterday, and that was a mistake. So thanks for Facebook. But and not that it really mattered. And I think I was more interested in what was going on with Rick, like you guys, like Chrissy, you were saying, what the subtle things that were happening to Rick as the episode flashed by. But I feel like I don't know. I honestly am really not happy with this episode overall. I think it was. Like you said, Dom, like I agree with you that like it had to be done like midway through the episode because like I'm with you. Like if they just whacked them in the head first 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, well I don't have to watch the rest of this season. Like my question's answered.
I still feel like that though. I don't have to watch the rest of this season. It's fine.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I'm not. This is probably the least excited I've ever been for a season of Walking Dead, but that's because like. I just was so apathetic watching this episode. Like I'm not even mad. Like I was just so like, all right, Abraham's dead. I mean, Abraham, I kind of don't care that died. I'm going to be honest. That's horrible of me to say maybe, but like he kind of peaked already. Like his story was kind of over.
Yeah.
I feel like, like he fell in love with Sasha and that was awkward and weird. And I'm like, okay, good. That's over now.
On a side note, did you catch what Abraham did just before he got hit?
No.
He flashed the peace symbol to her.
Oh, that's right, he did.
He flashed it just before he got hit, and he did it straight on looking at Negan, and just like, because that's something that they've shared. This would be the third time he's done it now.
Right.
They the first time, I don't remember the first time, but it was at, was it at Alexandra or Terminus? I don't remember. It was one of those two.
I remember when they were like switching guard.
That was the second time. That was the second time when they were switching guard.
Did he do it
duties.
when they raided the facility?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so. It was the first time was a very just kind of like they were keeping quiet about it. Nobody really knew what was going on, and it was just kind of like a, just like an acknowledgement to the two of them kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
the other thing is like, and I'm going to echo the article that Chrissy mentioned, but like they did kind of paint themselves into a corner, I think, because like the internet had 6 months to mull this over,
right?
So like
a lot of people online knew
we're not dumb.
It was.
Yeah, so people obviously like, over the years have like gotten towards the set, taken photos of like actors on the set and stuff like that. So like they've known things that have happened beforehand.
They knew the two of them were not on set. They knew this.
Exactly. So like, and this has happened with this show and many others, of course. So that's not too surprising. And they knew about Jon Snow with Game of Thrones and all that stuff, whatever. So that's not surprising to me, but it's just like you let this sit on the internet for 6 months. So like, even if you didn't cheat and see the set photos, like we would have figured it out. I figured it out. I was like, well, it's not Daryl, it's not Rick, it's not Carl, it's not Michonne. Okay, well, who do we, who do I give a shit about?
I mean, personally, I stayed off of the internet. Everything Walking Dead related involving cast photos and all that, I didn't want to know.
Right.
Like, I stayed away from it all.
I did too. I didn't never. Probably for a different reason. I was angry, but I didn't click on any of that stuff either. But I have friends who talk about Walking Dead who were like,
don't bother.
I have a friend who wouldn't stop hounding me about, who do you think died? Who do you think died? That's what I don't care.
I mean,
I'm so apathetic.
Personally, I have friends that talk about that, but not people that are like, hey, did you see in the set photo? Nobody was like that, but people would be like, hey, who do you think died? It was just questions.
No,
but
they would tell me their theories. Was Glenn and Abraham. Those
were mine too as well. Because I said if you judge by just the comic book point of view, I go Abraham, would be the prime choice because he's already past his point. But then you also have Glenn, who, that's how he dies in the comics. So I go one of the two.
But if that's the logic, well, I guess one of the two.
I know because I had no idea.
Knew it was going to be two people.
Well, I was reading. Two people were reading. I think Greg Nicotero said something in an interview. The deaths in this episode, and he said it plural. So people knew that means more than one. So then they just assumed. I didn't even know that going in that there was two. So
right. Yeah, and I don't know. It's like I also think I don't care, and this is kind of going back to last season, which I know we talked about a lot, how, like, our plucky little group of adventurers have kind of been dicks lately.
Oh, yeah.
Last season especially. They literally went into, like, a base of people they didn't know and killed them in their sleep. So, like, how bad can I feel for you guys that you're getting your comeuppance? It's like,
no.
Jesus Christ, dudes. It's like, one of you had to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, you look at it, too, from, they asked, did you guys happen to catch Talking Dead?
No, we didn't get to watch it.
The hour and a half live Talking Dead with the full cast. And, they brought everybody out, and it was fantastic. And it was in L.A., and it started raining, and they're like, it never rains here, and it's like the sky has literally opened up and is crying. And, it's just, I don't know, it's great. But they asked, oh my god, Nikki's gonna kill me. I forgot his name.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
They asked him, like,
I was just gonna start listing actors.
Yeah. They asked how he played Negan, if he plays him as a bad guy, and he goes, absolutely not. I can't play him as a bad guy. Like, there's no way I can do that, because it'll be a very one-dimensional character if I played him as only a bad guy. So, you gotta look at it from that point of view. Like, I guess right now in the comic book world, they're doing the prequel to Negan. They're releasing little chunks of it or whatever for his backstory leading up to the points before we met him and all that. But I would love to see a flashback episode to kind of see what Negan was up to this whole time, because I don't see him as the bad guy. I see him as Rick, and if somebody did this to Rick's people, Rick would be handling it almost the same way.
I agree with you in the fact that, yes, Rick attacked his people in the night, killed a bunch of his people. So him doing this is justified. Negan's still the bad guy because he is extorting other people violently.
Yeah.
So this instance, this is Rick's fault. This is because Rick went after that compound. But in the overall scheme of things, Negan is the bad guy. But I understand that Jeffrey Dean Morgan can't play him as the bad guy because then it would be very bland.
Yeah.
But Negan is still 100% the bad guy because of how he does things with these other towns. Who have never staged a kind of coup like that before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's still the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I think he's interesting. I actually, after this episode, after some reflection, I do want to learn more about him. I do want to know his history.
This is
I'd love
probably
to know
really bad at this point, but I care more about what's going on with Negan than I do anybody left in Rick's group.
I was going to say that, yeah. Like, I really want to know, like, because, like...
Except maybe Daryl, because of what Daryl did in this episode.
They're gonna do absolutely terrible things to Daryl.
And, well, it's not necessarily what they're going to do to Daryl. I'm more concerned what Daryl's going to do to Daryl. Because...
I know what you mean, yeah.
Because Daryl jumping up and punching Negan in the face is basically what caused Glenn to get cracked over the head with the bat. The vampire bat.
Yeah. Oh my god. And all of his jokes and all of his oh look, I made a pun I was just like, no, sorry, you're killing people. Stop.
I loved it. Because there was that very dry sense of humor, like, this is not really funny, but I'm going to pretend it is.
Can I level with you? I actually busted out laughing when he was making fun of Glenn with his eye popping out.
He did, and I was shot. I was like, no.
I'm like, I do see that. That's fucking hilarious.
It's not.
Which really just makes him a terrible person, but I laughed a little.
That prosthetic, by the way, oh my god.
It was great.
I commented
was-
on that too. It was spectacularly done. Kudos to the whatever department that would be.
I gotta figure out how to do that, and then I'll go Halloween as Glenn.
That is
Yeah.
Greg Nicotero's. That's his department.
Yeah, Greg, dude, you nailed it. That looks.
He
I mean,
nails everything.
I will cosplay as crushed Glenn's skull.
I can see that happening. And I'm gonna punch whoever cosplays that.
I'll do it.
I'll punch you.
I'll still do it.
Listen, PAX is very soon. This is fresh in people's minds.
Well, okay, I would agree with you if it was Comic-Con, but PAX is a very different con. There aren't that many cosplayers, and if there are, they're usually video games. But no, it could definitely happen. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, there are going to be some people I'm going to punch at PAX. I'm just going to say it right now.
I'm going to do it for Halloween. Luckily, I live a state away.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, no, Daryl's going to feel very, very responsible for this. Very. So,
yeah, well, a lot of people are already feeling very responsible.
So you know he's going to beat himself up over it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is all to break Rick. All of this is to break Rick. Because
well, I mean, not even just Rick. It's the group. It's the group.
Yeah, it's true.
Because
but
if Daryl didn't lash out, he wouldn't have smashed Glenn. So it's, hey, this is the consequence of your actions, Daryl. You know, it would have been really easy to kill Daryl then and there. But then, guess what? Nobody learns anything because everybody who was already out of line, you know, everybody who stayed where they were supposed to be, clearly knows what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So to kill Daryl is not going to have him learn his lesson.
And but it starts with the leader.
Right.
It starts with Rick.
Of course.
And it is because Rick looked at him in the eye with the one day I will kill you, with that kind of hope.
Not today. Not tomorrow.
Not today, not tomorrow. One day I will kill you. And it was that line, that look where Negan's like, I gotta kill some people. I gotta threaten to have you cut your son's hand off.
Well, not even that.
Everyone.
He broke him in other ways of like, you see this axe? This is my axe. This is not your axe anymore. You know, simple, little, subtle jabs that makes me think he has a background in psychology or something like that. Because it's like, ooh, okay. And, you know, go get my axe. Throw it out the window. Do it or everyone dies. I mean, those are your options.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, I mean, I'm glad we got like a good old-fashioned zombie thing in the fog, like we do, you know, from like Night of the Living Dead stuff. That was kind of a cool little throwback to the old ways. But, you know, he did exactly what he set out to do. And you know, I mean, the only thing I'm worried about is like, I don't want to have to deal with Crazy Rick for another half season. You know what I mean?
I honestly don't think it's.
I got enough of that in the prison.
I think he's gonna break in a different way. He's not gonna be Crazy Rick. He's going to be like super defeated Rick. Like he
like puppy dog.
Yeah, kind of like tail between his legs. That's what they're going home with, their tails between their legs. Yeah. Oh God, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about the fog. Oh no, about the axe. That hatchet, they used that hatchet as a prop, as an acting tool throughout this episode really, really well. From the putting in the table, you know, you can kill me, why don't you try, all that stuff.
And it's just like the subtleties too, like when he opened the door after Rick went on his zombie escapade or whatever and comes back with the axe, he goes through the door and he has his back to Rick the entire time when Rick is coming back in. You know, like... Mm-hmm. He doesn't care, you know, like he cares, but he's just like so much of.
He knows it's not gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. It was just the subtle things like that were fantastic to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I honestly, the way that Rick picks up that axe at the end, that's gonna be his new machete. I think that axe is gonna be his new machete, and it's gonna be on his hip the whole season.
Could be. I mean, it's so. See, like that, it makes you think it might not be because it's just so symbolic of like how he was defeated, you know, or maybe he will keep it for that reason.
Exactly, so he doesn't forget. That's why I think he's going to hold on to it. So,
yeah, I think that is going to be a thing that we're going to see. But also, I was going to say, you know, I mean, I feel like, because you're right, Rick could have just, like, chopped him right in the back of the fucking head, and he would have been dead. But it's like, obviously you can't, because if Negan doesn't come back with you, everyone there is dead. So,
dead.
like, yeah, everyone's done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, you know, we saw flashing through Rick's head, like, the visions of everyone else dying.
Because we had Abraham and Glenn first, right? We saw how that played out, and then we start seeing the flashbacks, and or what we think are flashbacks at the time, and they're coming one by one. When the first one, I was like, oh my god, we have 3? I didn't realize what was going on by the time we saw the second one. I was like, wait, no, this is just all kinds of crazy shit going on. And then it was really like Rick just thinking, if I don't go back, this is what's going to happen. That's all he could picture.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those flashes were like, because and John is right. He must have a background in psychology, because the things that Negan said haunted Rick throughout the whole episode. So that they were causing him to think back. Think of what can still happen. Negan said that more than once. Think of what could still happen if you don't do what I say. And even the like weird Thanksgiving dinner scene, that was all because Negan said that you're not going to be sitting at a table having dinner. This is not the kind of world, you know. So everything Negan said had like that kind of impact on Rick.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you break a person. I mean, he could have been a really good police, like, detective, I could see, too. I mean, who the hell knows? Hell, I mean, unfortunately, I think I know his background from the comics, so, like, a little less to the imagination for me, but I also know what happens to him in the end. So, there's that, too. But
speaking of that, we kind of know that Negan's not dying this season, because they said next season is going to focus on his backstory.
Yeah, well, I mean, up until I haven't followed, because I literally stayed internet silent from Walking Dead, whatever, through the break. But I know up until the point of the season 6, the finale for season 6, in the comics, which are still very far ahead of the show, Negan was still alive up to that point.
Yeah.
So that's like at least another 4 seasons that they could get away with keeping Jeffrey Dean Morgan on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Doesn't mean his stature is the same. It just means he's not dead.
Right. And I know that Walking Dead, I'm almost positive, was already renewed for season 8. So.
I mean, how could it not be?
Right.
Yeah.
It's The Walking Dead, so.
Yep.
It's just a formality at this point, I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, he's gonna be around. But and I mean, at the end of this episode, I was just sort of like, "Where's the tiger? Can we get the tiger now?"
They said there will be a tiger next episode.
I know. It's just, I'm teasing.
But they said that they're gonna slow down, and next episode is gonna be actually filled with a lot of comedy. So it's gonna be a very drastic kind of change of pace. And it from the preview that they showed, that small little thing, it's gonna have Carol and Morgan, and you're gonna see a lot more of what's going on in the town and everything over there, where they don't know what happened yet. So they're kind of allowed to have jokes and stuff right now. But
yeah, like Father Gabriel and the gang.
Yeah.
And there's something that that article brought up that I didn't realize until I read it, was the Hilltop's not going to be able to take this too well either, because they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And Sasha and Maggie are taking that truck to go. They're going to go, obviously, to get medical help. So they're going to Hilltop next. Well, like maybe not next episode, but whenever they get to Hilltop, we're going to find out just what they have to say about that.
Nothing good.
Probably
Jesus gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
With Ezekiel and all that. So.
Well, that's the kingdom.
Yeah,
the kingdom is going to be involved in next episode. So.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, and then I just one other thing I wanted to point out was that they were talking about, how in the comics they don't really feel that Abraham had the death that he deserved and all that, and it almost felt as if The Walking Dead is like the director's cut, where they have the chance to go back and make things right and give the more empowered death that they feel that Abraham deserved. And I do agree. I think this was a much better death for him than the one that happened in the comics. And the one in the comics was the one that the girl took last season with the arrow to the eye and the train tracks. That was his death.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem like a good death for him,
Oh, it wasn't a good death for her either.
No, but we're not as invested in her as we are for him.
I kind of was. I love Denise so much.
Of course, everybody loved Denise, but you're dealing with Denise, who's been in one season, versus Abraham. This is like his third or fourth.
I preferred the nephew, but that's just me.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I honestly don't think it's about time. But, yeah, he's been on more, and he did have more stronger ties with more people. It's like, I was saying, he was closest with the most people in that lineup. He had very strong. Abraham was.
I think
Glenn he had very strong relationship with three of them. Huh?
I think Glenn kind of was.
Yeah.
More than.
Well, it was like Glenn was close to like Rick and Maggie.
Yeah.
I feel like Abraham was close to like Abraham was close to like Eugene, Sasha, Rosita, Rick.
Rick, yeah.
He kind of edges out.
Glenn and the guy I can't remember.
Aaron.
They did stuff, and then
Maggie
Michonne.
That was more Daryl and Aaron. Daryl and Aaron were the ones who did.
I thought they ran some errands and stuff
Maggie too.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah.
Yeah, and we actually haven't heard from Tara or Heath yet.
Oh right, yeah.
After they raided that compound, Tara and Heath were supposed to go on like a week-long mission or something? Supply run?
No, it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
2-week-long mission or whatever it was. So we haven't heard from them yet, and then I don't think it's been 2 weeks yet. So they're due back in a little bit.
Oh, that's going to be surprising.
Yeah. Hey guys, what do we miss? Oh, everything's gone to shit? Oh, that's nice. Okay.
I expected Maggie to puke, to be honest.
I think I would have if I was her.
Yeah.
Oh man, if I was her.
Like, and I don't even know, like the emotional stress too. I'm glad they didn't go in that route, but it could have caused a miscarriage as well.
Yeah, and I know that's what we thought last season too.
Yeah.
But I think old Maggie would have done something. She would have gotten up. She would have done something. But this is Maggie who with Aaron, she came to the realization, I'm pregnant. I need to take care of this baby. Like, I can't go chasing Glenn every time he does something stupid.
Yeah, but you notice everybody else in the group was fucking silent when they all left. Maggie was the only one that stood up and was like, we need to hunt him down and kill him.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, we already knew she's in line to take over. Like, she's in a leadership position, and I think this is gonna make her like a ruthless leader, and I'm very excited for that.
I mean, but Rick's not wrong. They can't beat him.
No.
They can't. Not now. Not as they are.
Mm-mm.
Oh, but what's the name of this episode?
No.
The day will come when you won't be.
Yeah, Negan.
So weak.
Yeah,
day will come when maybe you can stand up to him. I don't know. Because there's always like 1,000 different meanings to like Walking Dead titles, and that's kind of what I wanted to figure out. And this talk helped me kind of figure it out. It's got a couple different meanings.
At least 2.
When you be alive. Day will come when you won't be so shitty.
Or it could be the same to Negan. The day will come when you won't be in charge.
Won't be alive.
You won't be alive. You know?
You won't have a gigantic posse with 1,000 cars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's only so much shit that people could put up with. And yeah, you could say, oh, look, he's not doing it to us or whatever. But the moment he does it to one of you, like, you're going to start thinking. And I think that eventually when stuff like this happens, somebody falls out of line in his own group of people too. That may leave a window open for, you know, Rick and company to be like, we don't have to deal with this forever. You know, we can group up and stand up to him, be free of him. You know, because I'm sure not all of them are happy. You know.
No, of course not.
And I mean, that's the thing is like, you know, they could ally with the Hilltop, and, you know, soon to be Ezekiel and the Kingdom can be allies as well. I mean, those guys are old school. They'll like crusade your ass. You got to watch it.
Go back to the prison and get the governor's tank.
Yeah,
can
really.
We use the crusade memes?
Crusade memes, yes, of course. The Pope's calling. Time to crusade. You know. So I mean, I think there's hope, but I'm kind of glad they're going to get away from like the heaviness of this episode. We need a little break from the 6 months of like, you know.
And as much as I'm still upset that was even a thing, like it's over now.
Yeah.
Start to move on. And then one thing that Chris Hardwick had mentioned to Greg and Robert on the show was, I like the way that you tease the whole arm thing from the comic books or whatever, you know, and he goes something about whatever, and he goes, oh, don't rule that out yet. He said it like that, like, hey, you know, it could still be coming.
Well, I mean, the reason they ruled that out was such a practical reason, because, like, Rick's the main character of the show, and to have to do every single fucking scene that he's in
with CGI,
artificially CGI out his arm, is a big waste of time and resources.
Yeah.
So, like, it's almost, I mean, honestly, I think Robert Kirkman said that's one of the biggest things he regrets doing in the comic.
Is cutting Rick's arm off?
Cutting Rick's arm off, yeah. Because, and honestly, they already did it with Merle, and that prosthetic, you know, that setup looked fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had like that weird claw thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And like,
he looked like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
So like,
it was a claw instead of a machine gun.
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, you know, they turned it around on us, right? They were like, oh my God, it's going to chop Carl's arm off. And, you know, it was kind of like the story of, story of Abraham, actually, from the Bible.
Yeah.
Where God tells Abraham to, you know, kill your only son. And he's like, wait, I was fucking kidding. What's wrong with you? Jesus. Don't do that. You know, same thing.
And then Jesus, like, pops up from behind the tree. It's like, hey, what's up? Hi, I've been here the whole time.
Oh, Jesus. Don't cut your son's arm off. I'm a dip.
Yeah, I'm just going to go.
And they're just like, bye, Jesus. And everyone just turns around and is like, bye, Jesus. Even the guy with the chainsaw, he just waves the chainsaw. Hey, Billy, did you bring your gun to the standoff we're having? No, I brought the chainsaw this time.
See, and I'm thinking now that the arm thing is going to end up going to Daryl. And that's going to make him very ineffective with riding motorcycles and using crossbows. So,
yeah.
Just like his brother.
And I had a thought. Where it was like, if Daryl had the opportunity, I bet he would break his crossbow in half rather than have Dwight use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking Dwight. Dwight is the worst, man. I hate him more than Negan.
Seems that he's still mad at Daryl, it would appear.
No. Yeah, no, it's not gonna end well for Daryl. Whatever happens.
No, and like Daryl's the wild card still, you know, because he's not in the comics, so it's fantastic because all bets are off with him. You can't compare it to anything, but you know, knowing that they weren't a fan of cutting Rick's arm off and stuff, and knowing that they may not go that route because, like, you know, they said this is basically their director's cut. They can go back and fix the things that they didn't like about the comics. And giving that to Daryl, I think, is a very symmetrical kind of nod to Merle, and you know.
Yeah.
I think that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Yep. And the synopsis for next week, which I have to say, after hosting so many CW show podcasts, this one shocked me at that it's like a half of a sentence.
Okay.
The Well for a number.
Wait.
Oh,
Before
sorry.
you go, can I hit it? Okay. The group is sad. Bad things happen. Zombies. Okay. Go ahead. Say what it actually is.
For a number of familiar faces, a new, well-established community seems too good to be true.
Group is sad. Got it.
It's called The Well.
The Well.
The Well.
The well is run
Yeah,
dry.
the next. So we have this, and I think Dom, you mentioned this in the beginning, where we have this big long title, and then the next 2 episodes are The Well and The Cell, and it's like, what?
The well and the cell, the well and the cell.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, so I think it was 6 season, beginning of season 6. What they had end of season 5, they had the string of episodes that was a quote from. Oh my God, what was his name?
Passage or
Dale. Quote from
yeah.
Dale a long time ago. So I like when there are patterns. They do this a lot. I like them when there are patterns in the episode titles. I can't wait to see. They've only got 3 episodes.
Well,
released,
I know the Cell.
so far.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, but I know the Cell's got to be a reference to the one that they built last season. So
Yeah, Warner built it.
Maybe, or what I'm thinking is it's something with Daryl.
Yeah. Now
They're gonna be keeping Daryl somewhere.
I don't know, like, do we know how long Jeffrey Dean Morgan is signed on for the show? Do we know if he's in season 8 or, because he's a very high demand actor, so he may not be able to stay on the show as a main cast. He may get dropped down to a guest or a reoccurring role for the next couple seasons.
I don't know maybe we'll have to see. But if they're planning on doing his backstory next season, I don't think so. I think he's going to be sticking around as a pretty major character.
I mean, they could do an entire backstory for him though in one episode, realistically.
Yeah,
they did that with the governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they went immediately into the governor's back in these episodes. Like, I can't see them just doing a backstory for him and then moving on. Like, that doesn't make any sense. In this show, it's really the backstory and the stuff that they do relates to what's happening. Like, I can't imagine they would just be like, oh, well, he's not on there for another couple episodes, even though we just devoted a backstory.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's it. I don't know if I'm more or less mad, but I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah.
John, where can the people find you? John?
He's going in slow motion. You can find me down below as Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomedom. You can find John on Twitter at No More No More. And you can find me at Clio Moto on places like Twitter, Twitch, Pinterest. I will be streaming this week for Halloween some spooky games. Follow me on Twitch. Spooky Scary Skeletons, yes. You can follow all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows, video games, and movies. Until next time, bye guys.
Bye. Did John make it back in time to say goodbye?
I don't think so. Jen!
Bye.